I think there's this trend that's slowly been going on for these past couple years and no one really talks about it. It's something that a lot of people have ignored and some people recognize, but they really don't give the full context, and it's not really shown how amazing this is. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about the Chris Paul effect. Now I know I'm gonna have to give more context than just giving it a name, so in this video I want to go over the Chris Paul effect and how this has gone on for not even just this season but years in the NBA. Now in order for you to fully understand this, we have to start from the beginning, back all the way when Chris Paul was drafted. In 2005, with the 4th overall pick, the New Orleans Hornets selected Chris Paul. Yes, the New Orleans Hornets. Now the Hornets were just coming off having a terrible season, finishing 18-64, and they were not looking like they were heading anywhere good. And I think it's safe to say that the roster spoke for itself when you saw how bad this team was. Now their whole roster wasn't entirely bad. They did have Baron Davis, and some tall white dude with a bunch of tattoos. So I think it's safe to say that the team was not going in the right direction before drafting Chris Paul. And I think it's safe to say that Chris Paul made an immediate impact, improving the team's record 38-44, which isn't the best, but this was a 20-game difference because of a rookie. Oh, and Baron Davis was traded that season. And you could say Chris Paul had a pretty good season himself, averaging 16, 8, and 5. However, the next season they did improve just by one game though. However, in the 2007 season, a lot of things changed. In 2007, Chris Paul and the Hornets had the second best record in the Western Conference, making it to the playoffs for the first time. They did win in the first round of the playoffs, however they got bounced out the second round. But this season was different because not only were the Hornets a lot more better of a team, but Tyson Chandler became the real deal. Now before coming to the Hornets, Tyson Chandler had never averaged over 10 points per game or double-digit rebounds. He did that within his first season with the Hornets and then did it again the following year. Now obviously Tyson Chandler improved a lot, but the whole team improved as a whole. The following year they did finish 49-33 and they made it to the playoffs but lost in the second round. Now you could say that them getting Chris Paul and him having that much success could have been luck. I mean, they were really not that good of a franchise before he came there. That's where the Chris Paul effect comes into play. See, when Chris Paul joins the team, that team becomes a lot more. Y'all, this video is sponsored by Manscaped.com, the global brand for men's grooming and hygiene products. If you guys want to take care of your body, why wait to the beginning of the year when you can start right now with Manscaped's brand new Performance Package 4.0. Now personally, I like to do my grooming in the shower, so that's why I use the Lawnmower 4.0, which is actually waterproof and is very much skin safe. Not to mention it is cordless, so it's not going to be a struggle to use. Also, it has this little LED light which does help you while you're in the shower. Not to mention it also shows how much battery you do have left, so you can put it on your little charger stand. Now right after you get out of the shower, you're going to want to use their Crop Preserver anti-chafing ball deodorant. Now my personal favorite product is very simple, is the Crop Reviver ball toner. It is super fast to use, and not to mention sometimes I'm in a hurry, I just do a quick little spray and I'm good for the day. On top of that, as an additional gift, you do get their Weed Whacker nose hair trimmer. In addition, you do get their boxer shorts, which are super comfortable, and so you can keep all your stuff in one place. You get their Shed travel bag. And don't worry, I got a good deal for you guys. If you guys do use code Spex, you'll get 20% off your order and international free shipping. Guys, that's code Spex, 20% off. The link is in the description below. Thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back on to the video. Now in 2017, Chris Paul was in a way better situation than he's ever been in his career. Not only was Chris Paul on a team that had the potential to not only just, make it past the second round in the playoffs, but even an NBA championship. And now Chris Paul and James Harden are forming the best backcourt in the NBA besides maybe Steph and Clay. Now there's a simple reason why James Harden had won before, and that's the fact that he was just not able to win on his own. And that became very apparent from the past couple seasons when they would get bounced out of the playoffs pretty early. And this is where the Chris Paul effect comes into play, because literally the first season Chris Paul gets there is a season that Rockets fans will never forget. That season they beat the Timberwolves in round 1 and then they beat the Jazz in round 2, but round 3 is where everything changed. See, now you're not playing bad teams like the T-Wolves or the Jazz, you're playing the Golden State Warriors, which was the standard to beat if you wanted to win an NBA championship. Now the series would be close, but it would be intense, and at one point the Rockets were up 3-2. All they had to do was win one more game to make the NBA championship. They had two chances, game 6 and game 7. However, there was just a small problem. See, in game 5, Chris Paul got injured and went down and was not going to return for the rest of the series. But this team was built to win championships. They had James Harden, who was one of the best scorers at the time. They had Eric Gordon, who was a really good shooter. They had PJ Tucker, who gave depth. They had Trevor Ariza, who was not the best player at the time, but he was still doing his thing. All they had to do was win one game out of 2 and they would make it to the NBA Finals. Now I'm sure you all know what happened in this series, and there's a reason why they did not go to the NBA Finals. Now Chris Paul is not to blame, obviously, because he was injured, but for one, James Harden did terrible, turned over the ball like 5 times, shot 40%. The Rockets, who were a team that were known for making threes, missed 27 straight threes, and some people try to come out and say, oh, they thought the game was rigged, but at the end of the day, you missed 27 straight threes. Now the following season was not like this one. There was no chance they were going to win. The Warriors straight up just beat them in 6 games. But after that, it was in 2019 when Chris Paul was traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now the reason that Chris Paul was sent to OKC was playoffs, basically to end off his career. He was supposed to die out in OKC, but guys, there's a reason why it's called the Chris Paul effect. That season, he would average 17-7 and would actually make the playoffs with a Thunder team that was inexperienced. Mind you, his career was supposed to die out in OKC. They were not supposed to be that good of a team. However, they were the 5th seed. Now, they would go on to lose in the first round of the playoffs, but everyone had already seen what they had to see. Chris Paul was not done yet. Right after the bubble, Chris Paul was traded to the Suns, and you guys already know what happens. The last time the Suns had made the playoffs before last season was 2011, and the last time they made the NBA Finals was 1993. So literally the first season Chris Paul joins a Suns team that had never had any playoff success whatsoever, or even made it even close to the playoffs. They go to the NBA Finals and unfortunately lose in 6 to the Bucks. However, don't think this is over and don't think Phoenix isn't coming back. Right now, the Suns and Warriors are currently tied for the #1 seed, so trust me when I say this is gonna be a fight back and forth. Oh, and after his career was supposed to die out, Chris Paul is now top 5 in MVP voting. So I think it's safe to say that over the past couple years, when Chris Paul went to a team, that team would instantly be a lot better, and not only just make himself better, but he would also improve, other guys around the team. It's crazy to think that this man has this ability, because there's not that many players in the NBA that can do something like this. And I'm gonna be honest, if we're giving the MVP on the most valuable player to a team, I feel like Chris Paul should have won it a long time ago. If we're not giving MVP based off stats, but actually being the most valuable player on their team, I'm giving it to Chris Paul all day. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you do leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you're new, turn on post notifications, let me know what other type of videos you want to see. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have an amazing day, take care, peace.